Dionisio at the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. Swakowski, the big right-hander, lets it go. It's right down Broadway. Dionisio lets it fly, and it's raining now.
It's time for Rain Delay Theater with Jeremy Dionisio and Jack Swakowski.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Rain Delay Theater, the show where two bums talk about other bums at baseball games. I'm Jeremy Dionisio.
And I'm Jack Swakowski.
This is episode number 312, the Chicago episode, I guess.
Yeah.
And we are going to be recapping the March 30th game between the Chicago Cubs and the Los Angeles Angels. This was our second game of the year. Came right on the heels of our first game, but wanted to keep them separated with the recap. So we're here a couple days removed, but we're giving you the recap of this game between the Cubs and the Angels.
Yeah, Jeremy, God help us if this podcast makes it to episode 773. This was a Monday night game. So we were both coming from work. I think the thing about this game, one of the reasons we decided to pull the trigger on it was because we saw the forecast and it was absolutely beautiful. So it was going to be on a Monday night, but for whatever reason, even though it was March 30th, it was going to be 70 degrees out and, not a cloud in the sky, which was like the one day in the last 2 weeks that it was actually going to be nice outside. It wasn't nice for about a week before that, and it hasn't really been nice since, but beautiful weather. So we were able to pick up cheap tickets, I think, before most people jumped on that. Ultimately, this game would be very well attended for a Monday night game in March. We bought our tickets for $11. There ended up being a piece. There ended up being 36,000 people there. So I think we got in on it early, but a lot of people pounced on this game after they saw what the weather was going to be like. It was too good to pass up. Just kind of going into it, that was a thing.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a big walk-up crowd. So it wasn't the most convenient game for me to go to be quite honest. I missed the first couple innings, but I figured, 6-7 innings of a 70-plus degree game in March is better than, 9 innings of a 40-degree game, which I would go to by myself 2 days later, by myself, last game of the series. And it was 39 degrees at first pitch. This game was 77 degrees at first pitch.
Ouch. What a swing.
Yeah, and that's Chicago in the spring for you. So it was definitely nice to make happen. When you can get multiple games in March, that's pretty good. That's promising for your overall season totals too.
Yeah.
So that was all good stuff. Jack, you got there before me. You were able to make first pitch, but tell me about that.
I just barely got there before first pitch. I got in. There were long lines to enter the stadium, which surprised me because, in my experience, even getting there at 6:20, I've usually been able to get right in. But like you said, a big walk-up crowd tonight, so it was kind of hard to actually get in the stadium. But I was able to get in.
Jack, I actually think you caught I think there's I don't know if it's a bell curve or something of of arrivals, but I think that there's a lot of people there there's a fair amount of people there at gates, and then I think it kind of dies down, and then I think right on first pitch sometimes, or even into the bottom of the first inning, I feel like it gets jammed up again. So you might have just caught a rough time.
Yeah, I think that was the vibe. That sounds right to me. It was one of those things where I was walking through the concourse as they were announcing the starting lineups, and I was like, okay, well, got to just get my scorecard and just get right up to the seats then. So we were once again in the right field upper deck 400 level section. I got up there, and as I was walking up the stairs, they started doing the national anthem, and so of course everything stops when the national anthem starts. So as I tried to get up those final steps into the concourse area, into the upper deck area where you can walk to the 400 level up or down the 300 level, it's like everybody had stopped for the national anthem. So the access to the upper deck was completely blocked by people just standing in the aisle. which is infuriating. Because I know they stopped serving concessions, but like that doesn't mean every fan needs to just stop in their tracks wherever they are and just completely block egress from people who are trying to walk places. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, right. It's like if there was a fire in the upper deck, like they're like, nope, the anthem singer didn't hear about it yet. She's still going. We gotta stop and pause. So it's weird, Jack, because that was always a Sox thing. And like, I don't know. I think that like, I don't know if you've had it literally happen to you, but like, I feel like because you can't hear it as much, in Wrigley Field, I think that sometimes things will still continue happening in Wrigley when the anthem's going on, but people do stop. Like it seems like now, heading to the seats. That's happened to me before last year, and I think I just pushed right through. I'm like, excuse me, I got to get to my seat. You'd be the only one moving, but I mean, I can't abide by that, man. It's too absurd, too extreme.
No, yeah. If I hadn't known I was going to make it absolutely to my seat, I probably would have done the same. So that was annoying, but at least we were able to get to. I was able to get to where I was going. But yeah, this was one of those games where even though it was a Monday night, even though we were in 400 level, there were people on both sides of us, which was actually I think it was the case for the last game too. But it was pretty jam packed in our section even when you got there. I was alone by myself for the first 3 or 4 innings, but not much happened. In terms of the game, the Angels pitcher, Ryan Johnson, who we would have an interaction with later, was absolutely terrible. He gave up 6 runs in 3 1/3 innings. So the game was pretty much over by the time you got there. I think it was 6-0 in like the 4th inning or whenever it was that you got there, and the Angels didn't have enough offensive firepower to come back from that. And also the Cubs, Edward Cabrera was having a really good outing. So it was already a blowout when you got there. But you actually made pretty good time, I think, considering when you got off work.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was a little frustrating. But it's like, I'm not going to complain about a Cubs 6-0 lead. It would be a lot worse if it was the opposite. It was annoying though, because like, it's like you couldn't keep it like somewhat close. Like there's been very few games that I've arrived at late. But like in, recent years, but, when it's happened, the game has managed to be like maybe 1-0, maybe a lot of times it's 0-0. And like, they just couldn't make it happen. Ryan Johnson, was just he was stinking up the joint, kind of like the director Ryan Johnson did in the movie Brick, which I did not like, but maybe that's more so maybe more so because of what's his name,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I can't stand him, but that's for another time. But so I it is what it is. I heard most of the scoring. I was walking to the stadium during that 3rd inning rally where the Cubs scored 3 runs. So it was just like, I was just so close, but just couldn't get there on time. I did arrive, like I said, about like bottom of the 3rd, I think. And I was like making my way up to the seats. I considered, Jack, asking you to pick up a scorecard for me so I could just get to my seat a little quicker. Yeah. But I figured just whatever. I'm going past there anyway, so I'll just get it. I did go to the normal right field gift shop where we usually get our scorecards after we graph, and there's a woman who works there, older woman with like gray hair, and they know us. The 2 women that work there, I feel like they know us at this point. And she said like, "Oh, you getting here kind of late, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, work, And I think she said like, "Oh, that's, don't they know? Like, they should let you off or whatever." And she said like, "You got a lot of catching up to do." And so I'm like, "Yep, I know, but good problem to have, I guess." It was nice to have that person there. She's always fast with the the register and stuff, so that helped mitigate the slowdown. But yeah, I headed up there and was able to actually finally kind of settle in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good. From there, the game kind of started moving fast once you got there. There wasn't a ton of offense. Like I said, Edward Cabrera had 6 innings, just 1 hit allowed and 1 walk. So he was mowing them down, and the Cubs seemed to lose interest in the game after they got that 6-0 lead. It was very crowded in our section. There was not a lot of people really clowning around. There were no Hershey's Kisses all over the place like there were last game. But I mean, there was a kind of a funny faux pas at one point when a guy tried to buy a beer from a vendor who was walking around.
Yeah, it was super annoying, and I've witnessed it before. I don't think I've ever had it happen in my row, until this night. And so we had nice seats. We were like 3rd row, and I think we were seats 3 and 4 in the upper deck reserve. So they were really nice, no obstructions whatsoever. And Jack, there were 2 people to my left, a man and a woman, and maybe like their 30s or 40s or something. But yeah, this guy calls over the beer vendor. The beer vendor stops at the end of the row. And then we see this guy get up and start walking towards the beer vendor, and like everyone has to get up. The whole row is packed, so everyone has to get up and let him through.
Yep.
And I was like, I said in like reflexively, I didn't even mean to say it like audibly or whatever, and I don't even know. I think I know the tone in which I said it. It wasn't like overly aggressive or anything, but I said I go like, we usually pass it down. And the guy was right in front of me when I said it. And he's like, oh, sorry, man. My bad. And it was one of those things. It wasn't quite like a thing where like you say something and the guy says like, what'd you say? Like, but I have to say that I reflexively felt a little bad about it or a little self-conscious about it. And then you could probably explain like what my reaction was, Jack. I don't know if you were able to really clock it.
Well, it was like the guy was immediately like very contrite. Like he realized the error of his ways right away, and so I think he almost wanted to like take back what he'd done. But there was no way. It was like he was already in too deep at this point. So you were just, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy. You're like, it's fine. Next time, we'll do it next time, or something like that.
Yeah, and I smacked him on the arm. I like smacked him like with the back of my hand, like on his arm. I'm like, yeah, don't worry, buddy. Next time. Which is like completely different from what I say under my breath or just to you, to some of these people. I call them every name in the book and I threaten to like murder their family or something. So, when you're in that position, you kind of take a different turn or whatever. But this guy was like in his 20s or whatever. And, he was a younger guy and like, I'm sure he legitimately just didn't know, but like, it's like, that's the whole thing with baseball. I mean, they did it. It's in Naked Gun. Like, obviously that movie's like going on 40 years old now at this point or something. But like, that's a whole joke in the baseball bit where they pass the beers down and the queen has to pass the beer down and stuff. So like, that's part of baseball. And it's like, I mean, aside from it being like inconvenient and like and like angering, it's part of the fabric of baseball that like is dying, and it's like, well, maybe it's a nice thing to try to like keep that going. Maybe that guy will like be like next time we'll be like, oh yeah, hey, pass it down, whatever. So yeah. And then when there was like when you would pay with the actual paper money, like you would pass that down, pass the change down, and like that it's also is not, that can be annoying as well, but I'd rather do that than have someone stand up and me miss like pitches and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was, I think, just a contrast between like what usually happens when someone does something like that and what happened here was pretty funny. Yeah. I guess one other thing from the people sitting next to us, these people were kind of, they were to our left, so this guy was somewhere to our right. But yeah, there was this couple who was about our age, sitting to our left. They both, I don't know if they both did, but at least one of them, at least the guy had on a Mike Trout jersey. The woman may have had a Cubs jersey on.
That's what I think. I seem to have the impression that she had Cubs gear on, but he had, and it was a weird Mike Trout jersey too. It was like maybe like an all-star Trout jersey. I don't really know, but he did. But they were relatively quiet. I don't know if you observed anything before I got there, Jack, but they were relatively quiet the whole game and subdued.
Yeah. They weren't really doing anything. I mean, the only thing I just noticed that Trout jersey, and I was like, oh, like, maybe these people are local, but like they're, the guy's an Angels fan or something. And like, that's probably why they're here tonight, is because they wanted to see him play. But oddly enough, Michael Conforto started this game for the Cubs, looked terrible at the plate. He struck out swinging in his 2 at-bats and looked bad doing it. Eventually the Angels brought Joey Lucchesi in to pitch, and so who was a lefty. So in the 5th inning, Matt Shaw pinch hit for Conforto, and then went out to right field in the bottom of the or in the top of the next inning. And so in the top of the inning, when a guy replaces the fielder, like Jeremiah Paprocki will like announce it over the PA system. So they announced that Matt Shaw was staying in the game in right field. And when, Paprocki said that, this lady let out a loud cheer, which was kind of odd. I don't know. I've never heard somebody cheer the defensive replacement as much as she cheered Matt Shaw.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like it stood out because it was the only thing that that she uttered the whole time. And you know, with a guy like Matt Shaw, you gotta wonder what the motivation is for that. I have heard him get like boos amongst the crowd, and mostly just like a lack of cheering. So yeah, it is what it is. And he's got 2 homers in 2 days, last 2 days. So I'm like, maybe he at this point the Cubs need him to build up some trade capital, some trade value, so they could it looks like they're going to need at least one pitcher going forward. But yeah, so I don't know what's up with that, but that was that stood out for sure.
It did, and these people, I guess, just to kind of put a cap on them, they had a weird exit because they watched Mike Trout bat in the top of the 7th inning, and Trout struck out, and then like right after that inning, they just left. And
also without a sound, also without any no discussion. Like, all right, hey babe, you want to go? All right, let's go. Like nothing.
No. Yeah, it was one of those things where they clearly had just agreed, like, let's see Mike Trout bat one more time and then we'll leave. And there was still plenty to go in that game, so that was strange. So a weird, just kind of a weird couple there. There's been a few scoreboard things, Jeremy, that we haven't really talked about this year. I think just because we've been focused on the actual games because it's so early in the season. One of the things they're doing is that they're doing a speed test. So they'll list 10 players off or however many, and then like they'll ask a Cubs player like, does this guy bat righty, lefty, or switch? And then so like the Cubs guy will have to go through all of those guys and try to get them right, and then like they see how long it takes a guy to get all of these right. And so I think like maybe it was Ian Happ got through 10 players in like 7 minutes. It's not 7 seconds. I mean, Pete Crow Armstrong took like 16 seconds, which was kind of funny because he got one wrong. So that's been a fun game to watch throughout the season. But there've been a couple of other things as well.
Yeah, I think this might have happened when I was walking to the seat. I can't remember, but I noticed it on opening day, and I think it happened at the game we were at, and we just kind of forgot to talk about it. But that friggin' AI thing is back in kind of a retooled format, but
with
it's
the
back.
Same voice. I haven't paid much attention to it, like both times it's been on, but I have noticed it's been happening.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if the guy, the Nico hit a homie guy, if he would have the same reaction as he did the previous time, which was no.
Yep. Yeah, AI is definitely a lot more part of the zeitgeist now than it was, 3 years ago or whenever this was happening. But I do think of that guy whenever I think of people saying bad stuff about AI.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they do basically like a Mad Libs type of thing now. Although I guess that's really what they did the first time. They just they added the extra layer of it being Mad Lib. So the AI person asks a kid like who's his favorite player, what's like his favorite sport, and like what's his favorite food, and then they're like, I don't even know. It's something like Pete Crow Armstrong played surfing and ate a hot dog. And then they make the thing, they make the paint, the artwork again. And it's just slightly more tied together. It's slightly more tied up, but it's still weird. And the artwork is still weird. It's maybe slightly less like disturbing, but still totally random. And I mean, it'll be fun, I guess, to follow it along the rest of the season, but it'll be something to talk about for sure.
Yeah, and one thing that's a little disturbing about the floppy hat guy, Jeremy, which is what we call this AI guy that we were just talking about. I mean, he did predict a Nico Horner home run, and we know those don't happen very much. You know, he said, Nico, you're going to hit a homie today. And then, like, in that at-bat, he hit a home run. So it's like, if he predicted that correctly, I'm a little scared about, like, his thoughts of AI. Like, this guy might have predicted, like, the Terminator apocalypse or whatever it is. So, I guess TBD on that. But, the Cubs definitely, they did keep that. One strange note about this game, Jeremy, that's always kind of cool to see is that Colin Ray got a 3-inning save for the Cubs. So Edward Cabrera would go 6 scoreless innings, and then Ray would go the final 3. Probably because the game was not close, and Counsell didn't want to use this third pitcher, which is understandable, especially in this day and age. So Colin Ray got a 3-inning save to finish the game. I actually so I was in Arizona the last couple of days, and I also saw Osvaldo Bido for the Braves get a 3-inning save. So I saw 2 3-inning saves in a week, but it's just a rare thing, and it's kind of a fun, antiquated way to get a save that you almost never see anymore. So that was cool. So we saw Colin Ray get a 3-inning save.
Yeah, that's that was cool. It was good to save the bullpen, and it might be the last time you see him do that this year, because he's probably gonna be in the rotation now every 5th day. Because Horton, we still wait the news of Cade Horton going down, although it kind of sounded like they were like getting a second opinion, is based on what Carter Hawkins said. And Matthew Boyd just went on the IL for some inexplicable reason. So they're down 2 starting pitchers now, with like basically like a little over a week into the season. That's that math isn't good. But that was cool. I was, I guess there are some like Cubs relievers I still want to see like in person. So didn't get a chance to this night, but it still meant that the Cubs were in the driver's seat. It is funny though. When I arrived, it was 6-0, and basically, if I counted the score of the innings I was actually there in my seat for, the Cubs lost 2-1 because the Angels did hit a 2-run homer. Yoan Moncada hit a 2-run homer off of Ray when he first came in the game, and then he settled down. But another Moncada homer, which we have seen a lot of, but not in a long time.
No.
Moncada, you ask someone why they like him, and they'll say, because he's a beast.
Oh, God. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some like 20-year-old guy talking to like a 12-year-old kid, 11-year-old kid, and he's like, why do you like Yoan Moncada? Because he's a beast. Like, okay, that doesn't.
Yeah,
really
that might have been
anything,
the guy's son or something.
Son or like.
Yeah, you should be a little more, maybe intelligent when you're talking to your own kid. But Jeremy, we saw Ian Happ homer 2 in this game. I don't know if you were there by that point, but yet another Ian Happ home run too. So I think that might have been the guys who were like number 1 and 2 in our leaderboard, both hit home runs, which is weird.
Definitely at one point they were definitely number 1 and 2. I think it's been so long since we've seen a Moncada homer. He's fallen a little bit behind, but he's in the top 10 for sure. Maybe crazy. Top 5. So that was cool to see Colin Ray get that save. So I mean, that was kind of pretty much it for the game. The Cubs held on to win 7-2, I think. So we made our way out to the bus, and it was our first time this season seeing Nick, the security guy. He wasn't there
so it was good to see him. He gave us the usual
the usual fist bump. Yeah, we kind of he wasn't there for opening day or for first series is what I'm saying. So he came out and he was kind of BSing with us right away, and I forget the exact sentence he said. I think he said something like, "Yeah, I'm on cards now," or something, or he's like, I'm into the cards thing now," something like that. And then he just whips out his phone and just like shows us. And he also has a very deliberate way of like showing his phone to us. Like he kind of like touches it with like one finger and then like turns it like he's holding it with like two fingers and like his pinky is out, and he like turns around and he like presents it to us. And then he's basically showing us like he hit like a Mike Trout autograph card. And he was showing us like his highlights of like cards that he's hit in breaks, presumably over like the winter.
So and there was a lot of them. I think one of the reasons this whole thing came up is because he was talking about Trout, and he's like, "Yeah, Trout's my last guy. Like, but he's been hurt every time the Angels have been here." Which is true. Right. I feel like every time the Angels have been to Wrigley since we've started graphing, Trout has not been here. But he was. Yeah. And so, he pulls out his cards. He had a Trout. He had a Bobby Witt Jr. that he pulled autograph. And then he was like, "Oh, but here's the big one." And then he showed us a Roman Anthony that he'd pulled as well. So, I don't know. I mean, okay. Yeah, like I guess Roman Anthony is bigger than like Bobby Witt Jr. maybe. I don't know in terms of cards. But he had a whole bunch of them, and I think maybe he had some kind of relic card too. I don't know. He was showing us a whole bunch of stuff, but he always talks about how. Yeah,
I think there's a Bobby Witt relic. Yeah,
might have been. Yeah, but he I don't know. He always shows us these, and then he talks about selling them, or maybe he even asked us if we wanted to buy them or something like that. But we just kind of laughed it off. It's one of those things, though. We had some things we wanted to talk about with Nick. So I guess we can talk about this right now, but we also like, if you get in a conversation with Nick, you're never sure how long it's going to last. And it's like, you don't want to still be talking to him while guys start coming out. And sometimes you never know if Nick is going to get into a long story or not. This is one that is definitely a long story, but, maybe, but, we don't, we have not seen Flotation Tank yet this season, and his presence, it's like a gaping hole in just the whole bus experience.
The fabric.
You don't know where he is. Yeah, so and if anybody would know, it's Nick. But so I think the next time we have a little time after we get out there, we got to ask Nick where Flotation Tank is.
Yeah, if we don't see him before then, I will say I was there the Wednesday after that, and I still didn't see him that day either. And like, I don't know. I technically have his number, so I could text him, but it's one of those things where we'll just like let the events unfold and clear themselves up. But like, it's a little it's a little telling, I think, that we haven't seen him yet. I don't know if there's been a falling out or whatever, or like not a falling out between him, but I guess that's one way of saying getting fired, falling out between you and your employer. But yeah, so we'll see what's up with him. I hope he's not gone, because he did hook me up with tickets last year, and I'm sure that at some point he probably could have hooked the both of us up with tickets.
Yeah. And he gave us good information.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. So I'm wondering if maybe they heard his comments about Lori Lightfoot that he said to us privately. Maybe that got him in some hot water. But yeah. So the other thing too, we
Go ahead.
We were able to mention to Nick was finally getting Ian Happ at the Cubs convention, because as you recall from the Cubs convention recap episode, Nick was on stage with Happ, kind of accompanying him, and it was funny. I said like, "Yep, finally got Ian Happ," and he goes like, he did say like, "Oh, you guys should have let me know. I could have hooked you up or something." Yeah. And I'm like, "Dude, you knew we didn't have Ian Happ. Like, you could have hooked us up even if we did have him." But I think he was like. He's like, oh, good. He's probably glad, so he didn't have to hook us up or feel like he had to. So, yeah, it's kind of funny.
think he bragged that was about the fifth time he's been with Ian at the convention or something. So yeah, that was funny too. Jesus, Jeremy, I forgot about that Lori Lightfoot thing. That's that was beyond the pale. So anyway, so I guess to get to the graphing aspect of the evening, I did not, I chose not to bring an Angels team card with me just because I had so much to prep. I had almost every damn player on the roster and every coach, but I did not have a team card. But Perry Manazian came out. I think he's the president of baseball ops for the Angels. He's something. He's their top guy. He's their Jed Hoyer. So he came out, and Jeremy, you didn't call for him the last time when they were here in 2024, but you got him this time. He kind of did this weird thing where you called for him, and like he took a step on the bus and sort of boomeranged back out to you. Like he realized you called for him and he came out. So he was actually pretty nice. He gets a lot of bad press, but he was actually nice.
Yeah, he was cool. I'm actually looking him up right now. He is the general manager.
Okay.
But he's kind of like the face of the A's or the Angels at this point.
Yeah.
He was born in Chicago, which I don't think I knew that.
Okay, I didn't know that either. That's interesting.
Yeah, so he's 46 years old. He's a year older than me, and from Chicago. So that's interesting.
He seems like a West Coast guy, but that's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would have thought too. But I called him over, and I said Perry, but he came back over and was like, yeah, me, and he signed my team card, and he's got a nice signature, and
he does.
Yeah, it was cool. It was kind of. Yeah, it's just cool to kind of knock some of these front office people off. I probably should have got Matt Arnold when you got him last year, but I probably will have another opportunity to do that if I so choose. So cool to knock those guys off. So that was and that was good just to kind of get the ball rolling. After that, it wouldn't get much easier for autographs.
No.
So it was good to knock those off. I did end up getting Mark Gubiza came out, and I ended up getting him, and these are repeats now. And Jack, you just didn't re-up on these guys.
No,
and,
I already had them both. I should have, in retrospect.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you do just so you can get somebody, Yep. The Gubiza interaction the first time was so cool that it's one where I probably didn't need to re-up on him, but I don't know. He's got a bunch of cards and he's got cool ones, so I threw another one in the set and I got him, and then I also got John Mabry again. I think for the third time maybe.
Yeah, I've gotten him twice, and I think I'd ordered another card for him, but I just forgot to bring it. But yeah, it's probably your third time.
Yeah, I wanted to get him because he was on the Moneyball A's team, and they mentioned him in the movie, and so I had to search far and wide for a John Mabry A's card, and I found like this mini one, and so I got him to sign that. So it was pretty cool. I almost wanted to mention, like, hey, do you know you're in Moneyball, right, or something. But I just let it go. But so it was kind of cool to get that card, and I think I'm done with Mabry at this point. But it was that, so it was just adding to the totals overall, if not like the new autos.
Yeah, sure. I always liked him when I was a kid, and he played on a bunch of different teams and has other cards. So I'd get him again, and he's a nice guy. He always signs. So that's a good one to get. Jeremy. Kind of before guys started coming out, we started to smell the stench that sometimes comes up from the sewers. And you even made a comment like, I'm standing on the stench, which is a Dennis quote, like a direct quote from Dennis. I don't even know if it was a complaint from Dennis. It was just like a comment about him. Like, you smell that shit? But anyway, right after that happened, this guy came up behind us. And I will describe him as, Jeremy, I don't know if you've ever read this book, but A Confederacy of Dunces. He looks like the picture of Ignatius J. Riley. Like that is what the guy looked like. Like, he was just this huge like dude with a Mario mustache, and he was loud as fuck, and like he was just annoying. Just right off the bat, he was annoying. And he kept
fucking belligerent too.
He was. So he had like all black on. He had like a black T-shirt, black sweatpants, and I think he had a W flag draped over himself as if it was a cape.
Yes.
Yeah, and so he, right off the bat, he's like, yeah, I just want to see Mike Trout. I want to see Mike Trout. It's my guy. It's my guy, Mike Trout, best player ever. And he was just yelling this and kept saying it over and over. And I immediately said to you, any chance we would have had at Mike Trout tonight just went out the window. It's gone. Like it just went crashing down. Like this guy was crazy. And so I think we can kind of both go on about this at length. But shortly after he got out there, and there were a lot of people out there at this point. There were about 100 people at this bus, and he was right behind us. And he was right in the middle of a crowd of people. And so he just lit up a cigarette and started smoking and just blowing his smoke everywhere. And thankfully, because there was a little bit of wind, it wasn't getting on us, but it was blowing right on this other guy's face. It was like an older guy, like in his 50s, and the guy got pissed off, and the guy like told this, Mike Lout, as I think we're going to call him, like the guy told him to like knock it off, and then Mike Lout was like, yeah, well, hey, this is a public street, right? Yeah, so I can do whatever I want, so shut the fuck up. And I was like, did you just tell a stranger to shut the fuck up? That's crazy.
Yeah. It was upsetting and disturbing and just like sadly like a commentary on like our society, as it stands right now. Not to get too deep into it, but it was fucked up. And like, yeah, it's one of those things that you witness and you feel uncomfortable because you want to chime in there, but you also don't want to suffer. You don't want to fucking catch it from Mike Lout. So like, fuck, this guy was just a piece of shit. He kept saying like, Michael Trout. I just want to see Michael Trout. Yeah, yep. Michael Trout. Like, I don't know why the fuck he was saying that. Like, is that like only what super fans call him? Like, only real fans know that Mike Trout's full name is Michael. Like, go fuck yourself, dude. Like, this guy sucked. He was horrible. Yep. And like, there was a guy next to me, directly to my left. It was like, I think it was a dad and his son, and like the guy was maybe in his like late 30s, early 40s, like right around our age, and they seemed like pretty chill, just like they just had like one card for Mike Trout. That's it.
Yeah, they did. Yep. And that was when we knew Mike Trout would be the street sweeper too, as we call it. Just like looking at that, I was like, all right, all these people are here for Trout. They're gonna leave after he leaves. Yeah,
there was a lot of like teenage boys there too. But like, the dad was trying to have a moment with his kid, like graphing Trout, and you said the thing about our chances just went down, and I put the thumbs down, like, it's plummeting, and then the guy saw us doing that, and I think he kind of heard us, and I said to you, I'm like, I almost feel obligated to tell Mike Trout to go the other way, to not call him over just as a gesture to him. And I think the dad heard me say that, and I don't know if he knew if I was being serious or not, but yeah, so it was just super annoying. And sure enough, Mike Trout comes out shortly thereafter. A couple of guys came out, a couple of players we called for, did not stop. No. But Trout does come out, and basically, I didn't see the car ahead of time, but he comes out. He's got his phone glued to his ear. Oh yeah. Just like lost in his phone, just probably as a shield, probably as a distraction. But gets on the phone, and he's tailed by he kind of has like a mini posse with him. One of whom was Travis d'Arnaud was with him for some reason. And he kind of goes in between the buses, and then I think he got into like a private car. So yeah, I don't think we really saw that waiting for him. Like it was kind of like on the side of the bus, so it was kind of being hidden from our view. But he gets in the car, and then like oddly enough, like I think it's sat there for a little bit with some other people. I think it sat there for a little bit. Maybe someone, I can't remember who else, but someone else got off and then got out of the stadium and then got into the car, and then it drove off eventually.
Yeah, Jeremy, it was kind of the classic thing with Trout. So first of all, a couple of he ran interference like 2 or 3 times over just to make sure he didn't have to interact with anyone. So yeah, he had the phone. That was one thing that guys do. He doubled up though. He also had a bum with him. He had Travis d'Arnaud with him. So it's we've seen superstars before, like, have a bum with you that you can kind of be talking to like, run interference and like just shield you. And so that he had that too. Yeah, he didn't look up once from his phone. Like, people called for him, everybody went nuts. He didn't even wave, and he got in that car. Like you said, it's kind of inexplicable that Travis d'Arnaud was with him, because I don't think they've really been teammates for that long. I don't know if has d'Arnaud ever been on the Angels before this?
I don't think so. Not that.
No.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, like, maybe he was just like, hey, d'Arnaud, like, come with me. Like, he probably, like, once that black SUV pulled away, he probably, like, dropped d'Arnaud at the Addison red line and say, yeah, you take the red line the rest of the way home. I'm out of here.
He just kicks him out of the side door. Like,
exactly. I've always heard that Trout was nice. Maybe it's just inside that he's nice. But yeah, definitely that was kind of whack. So. And Nick was annoyed with him, too, because it seems like the security guards didn't know that Trout was going to take that car, so they kind of had to improvise when he did.
Yeah, Nick, after the car pulled away, Nick kind of emerged from the two buses, and he kind of looked at us and he rolled it. He gave a very demonstrative eye roll to us, and we both kind of like chuckled a little bit. And then, like, a beat happens, he kind of comes closer to us, and I said to him, like, Nick, don't you wish Mike Trout was always here with his private car? And then he gave like another eye roll, and he's like, yeah, man. It's like, and they're giving us shit about it. It's like, because we weren't ready. It's like, well, you didn't tell us. And they're like, yeah, we did tell you. And it's like, no, you didn't. And so he was kind of venting to us about. He's like, yeah, the Angel security's all mad at us. It's like, you didn't tell us. And like, so he was. It was a good like it was a good way to curry favor with Nick. Because that's how our bread is buttered. So we'll stay good with Nick.
Oh yeah. So Trout was a complete miss. So that was disappointing. But thankfully, like, once he left, it really cleared out. There was hardly anybody left. But we had some classic misses that seem to happen every time. Adam Frazier. He's been a sneaky one where we haven't really talked about him, but I feel like we've tried for him we've had at least 4 chances at the guy, and we've never once gotten his autograph, and he didn't sign again, so he passed us right by. Of course, Mike Maddux, once again, we did not get, like, he denied or just ignored us. Dom Cheedy, the bullpen coach, who we both had a minor league card of from like the early 90s. Also, he was right behind Maddux, didn't sign, didn't even acknowledge, which was weird because, who the hell is Dom Cheedy? And then John Gibbons, man, I don't think we're ever going to get John Gibbons, dude. He just does not sign. He heard us, he acknowledged us, and he just kind of shook his head and waved and got on the bus. So, those 3 guys who we absolutely would have wanted to get, none of them signed.
I think Gibbons muttered something like, "Sorry guys, not right now," or something. Like, you're like, I said, you got time. He's like, nope, not really, or something. And like, he seemed like very pleased with himself to not sign for us, and it was pretty annoying. And I don't see when that might happen.
No.
I don't even. It didn't seem like it would be on the field sort of thing. Like, maybe Dom Cheedy could be an on the field sort of thing. Yeah. But Gibbons just kind of seems, he seems kind of like a red ass, and maybe that's just from seeing him in fights, arguments as a manager. But it just doesn't seem like that's gonna ever be a thing. But won't stop us from trying necessarily. But but it's not like we'll get a shot at him every year. He'll now if he stays with the Angels, it'll be 2028 before we get another shot at him at Wrigley. So so it is what it is. I did go back on Wednesday on getaway day. And I started off at the front of the bus, and Dom Cheedy did come out, and he came out by himself. I did not call for him, just because I was gonna, like, it would have blown up his spot too much. But he also did not look like he would have stopped then either. Sure. So it's just it's kind of a head scratcher. We put him in the category of Ron Gideon.
Who's that Mets guy? Glenn Sherlock.
Yeah, Glenn Sherlock. That's it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, also doesn't sign. So that was a weird one. We actually suspected we might see Dennis because Brent Suter was on the Angels. Dennis's bestie. And Dennis was not there, but Suter was. And Suter signed for everybody who asked, like he always does. I didn't bring him again either, but I think you had something for him.
Yeah, he actually walked out and he walked up to the security guard. And I heard him say, like, "Is it okay if I sign?" And they're like, "Sure." And he like came through the barricade and came over. And he hit everybody. I didn't call for him at first because I wasn't gonna push the issue, but he went and signed for like some kids and stuff. And then I'm like, well, screw it, I'll get him. And I think I literally had him sign the last 2 cards I have of his that don't have ink on them yet. So his 2018 card, and actually like a 2017 Heritage dual rookie card with him and Orlando Arcia. So he hit that one. And man, now it's just a matter of if Arcia stays in the league long enough for me to try to complete that one. He does sign, but I don't have him. So but I got it just knowing that I might not ever complete that card. But it's I guess kind of cool to get him on his rookie card, Brent Suter.
Yeah, absolutely. That was another one that we got, and Ryan Johnson. The starting pitcher who we mentioned just had a really rough night. Came out, I think it was by himself, but he came out late, as starting pitchers sometimes do. It seems like they either come out very early or very late, and so he was late. Had a terrible outing, but I had a good feeling, and so we called for him, and he came over and signed. So that's like, a data point, I think, like, Kyle Freeland got his tits lit one time and we got his autograph. Miles Michaelis, so we've gotten the starting pitcher 2 out of 2 games. Miles Michaelis had a terrible outing with the Nationals. He signed for us. And now Ryan Johnson also signed for us as well. For some reason, I don't feel like if Clayton Kershaw had a terrible outing, he would sign for us. So probably that theory is out the window. But anyway, Johnson did. There was a weird moment. So Johnson has a weird autograph where it's basically just like an R, and then like the bottom of the R loops into a J, and then that's it. So it looks like one letter. And so when he signed for you, Jeremy, he signed it, and then he he finished, and then he stopped, and there was like this pregnant pause where you were both like weren't sure what was going to happen next, because I think Johnson thought you had multiples of him, but then you didn't. So he just stopped and moved on to me. What was going through your mind when that happened?
Yeah, it was weird because I still don't know who was like at fault or like who made the faux pas, but like he signed for me. I was looking down at my card as he signed it, and he did that little stroke. I think he took a pause, like looking at the rest of my cards. I took a pause. I'm like, oh, he's done, and then we must have both like kind of realized it at the same time, and I go like, yeah, thanks, that's it. And he's like, okay, cool. And then like he moved on, but it was weird. He's definitely trying to do something with that autograph, like trying to make it look like a little symbol or something, or just like how can I cleverly include like my initials. So I mean, it was cool to get him. Like I got him on this like Bowman first card, so that was cool. And like, it was cool to get the starting pitcher, even though he did get rocked in that game. I think we said last episode that the Miles Michaelis autograph was a predatory graph.
Yeah.
And so another predatory graph. Jack, did you see what Miles Michaelis did in his second game of the year?
Did he have a good outing?
He gave up 11 earned runs, I believe.
Oh, okay, yeah, because this was while I was in Arizona. That's right. I did make note of that. It was a bad outing, right?
Yeah, very bad.
That's
let's
good.
see. 11 runs all earned on 11 hits. He didn't make it through 4 1/3 inning. Walked 1, struck out 4. So his ERA currently sits at 14.46.
That's not good. I don't know if he's going to make it through the season.
Yeah, I don't know either, and I don't know if he really needs to. I think he should just just cut his losses and go back to shopping for Levi's denim jackets. So I don't know, but that's rough start for him. I'm glad I got him like just in the nick of time.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson came out. He was, I think, maybe the last player to come out.
Yeah.
Well, not quite the last player, but we kind of knew what was going to happen next though, because like it had been like a big gap in people coming out, and definitely no coaches. I think maybe even since like after Mike Maddux and Dom Chidi, but there was a bunch of coaches left on the coaching staff that we wanted, and none of them had come out yet. So we were pretty geared up for them to all come out together at the same time, which is what happened.
Yep, absolute worst case scenario. So I guess we could just run down the guys we wanted. Adam Eaton is their first base coach. Max Stassi was like their catching coach. Kurt Suzuki was their manager. And then the coup de grace was Brady Anderson was their hitting coach. So that's 4 guys that we would have really liked to get. I think in order it probably would have been like Brady Anderson, Adam Eaton, Kurt Suzuki, and then Max Stassi. But I would have taken any of them. The problem is that when they all come out together like they did, you have such a small chance of getting anybody. Because first of all, it's like, all right, well, who do we call for here? We have to make a decision. We can only call for like one person. But also, like, it's very rare that one guy will actually peel off and come sign. It's happened before, but like the chances are much less. So, like, we waited all this time for these guys to come out. We were really excited to get somebody, and then they all came out together. And I think we both, like, our hearts sank when that happened because we realized we probably weren't going to get any of them.
Yeah, and you know, Jack, as we're like recounting this, the guy who's peeled off the most in these situations is the actual manager. And I'm almost wondering if like the coaches feel like that's showing up the manager to like peel off and sign and not have the manager. So like, you know, as we're recounting it right now, I'm like, maybe calling for Suzuki was the right move. Just, I mean, you know, he's the most likely to deny also, but like, it's kind of his call. Like, you know, so maybe we do that next time. I can't think of another scenario where there's that many coaches though that we want, with the manager that we also want. So it was just sucked. It was just a bad situation.
Yeah, that would be an interesting experiment though, Jeremy. And I think there have been times where we've called for the manager and he's actually peeled off. So maybe the next time this happens, let's call for the manager and see if there's something to that. Yeah,
I think there could be. So, yeah, it is what it is, though. I mean, I wanted them all. It's almost like, man, I either want them all or nothing because I wanted them all so bad. So, yeah, we called for Brady Anderson. He did look at us. He almost even made a step towards us, and it looked like he was going to do. Maybe that was his thing. He's like, well, I don't want to show up Suzuki, so I won't do it. So, yeah, we got nobody. It sucks. One of the guys who was kind of bringing up the rear of that group though was Tim Buss. Yeah. And you gave Tim Buss a shout out.
Yeah, I just kind of yelled at him. I was like, "What's up, Tim?" And then he waved. I was gonna say because you got him last year, Jeremy. So
I actually got him twice because I got him last year at the White Sox also. Oh my god! And I almost made a custom of him this year, just so like a full length custom because I've only gotten him on team cards, but and he also signs like very small in the corner. So I'm like, this guy's begging me to make a custom, like a full size custom of him, so he can give me like a big autograph. So yeah, I should have done that, but I just didn't. I didn't have a lot of time to get ready for this series. So you know, next time that guy seems to be like a mainstay on coaching staffs. So
yeah, I'm not even really that clear on what he does.
No, he just seems to be like a
vibes guy.
Yeah, he's just like a hype guy, like a mascot type of like a motivational guy or something. But so he went on the bus. We just said hi to him, and then Joey Lucchese was one of the last guys on the bus too. He was with that group, and he went on the bus. We called for him, and I think he kind of looked at us, but then just got on the bus. And then, like, as soon as he got on the bus, some jerk guy out there was like, "Yeah, that's why you've been bouncing around all these years. That's why you were in AAA last year because you suck. Like, you're shit, man," or whatever. Like, he really like dumped on the guy, and it was like, dude, like, and he hurt him. He had to have hurt him, and it was just annoying and like uncalled for.
Yeah, absolutely. So then the bus drove away. And I don't even remember what was said during this last part, but somehow this older guy started talking to us, and we just kind of got trapped in a conversation with him at the end when we were trying to peel off. I think he was talking about like who we got or whatever, and it was just weird. And I think you and I were so disheartened by just not getting any new autographs that we both just kind of wanted to leave and go home. But we were like stuck in a conversation with this dude, and like until we were able to finally like peel off, and we were like, all right, man, all right, cool. Well, maybe we'll see you around. Do you remember anything this guy said to us?
No, I almost forgot that it happened, Jack. I think I blocked it out of my memory. You're the one who added the note in there, and then I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, was this the guy who like, I think he was talking to us about autographs that like he got as a kid or something, like,
yeah,
like, oh yeah, I used to get whoever, blah, blah. I think because this guy wasn't like old, right? He was like maybe like in his like 50s or something.
50s,
right?
yeah,
40s, 50s.
yeah. Yeah, it was just a weird thing to
so
have
I think
happen like right after we got skunked.
I think he was like, who signed? And it's like, oh yeah, I used to get autographs too. I used to get this guy and that guy. And we were like, okay, man, whatever. So I think that was pretty much it. It was, weeknight. So once that was done, it was kind of, no fun. I think you had to get up the next morning. I had a lot of stuff going on that week. So we both called it a night. And we headed home. It was disappointing. I will say just real quick, when I did go back on getaway day, I hung out by the front of the bus a little bit, and then once guys started peeling off to the back, I kind of went back there. I almost got Chase Silseth. I was trying to go after him without running, and he was just a little too fast for me. I didn't really get a good shot at too many other guys. I called for Kirby Yates because we did make Kirby Yates on Monday, was it Monday or Tuesday? Monday. A little bit of a surprise that he was even there because he's on the IL. And I called for him, and he just kind of made this pained look, like, no, I'm not signing. I'm not stopping. And then I called for Lucchesi again, and Lucchesi said, I'm like, you got time? He's like, no, man, I gotta get on the bus. And at least he gave me a human response, but he also had time to do it. One thing that was kind of a bummer about that experience was I was at the side bus with just a dad and his kid again, and Mike Trout got on the bus, and he was sitting in the catbird seat right in front, in the manager spot. And he was just sitting right there, and I didn't want to say anything to him or Mike Maddux where I held the card out for him. But I think maybe the dad and his kid motioned to him, and an Angels employee actually walked up to the kid, grabbed a baseball and a pen, and went on the bus and handed it to Trout. Trout grabbed the ball and leaned over, and he signed it, handed it back to the guy. The guy ran it back to the kid, and he signed a friggin' baseball, sweet spotted for this little kid. And it was pretty cool. And I'm like, hey, can I see it? And he showed it to me. And not only did he sign it, but he inscribed it 3-time AL MVP.
Wow.
And I was like, oh man, he inscribed it. That's cool, man. And and then another little kid showed up, and I was like, then I was trying to see hey Mike, can you take 2 more cards onto the bus, and sign just 2 more, and it seemed like it was maybe possible, but it just didn't. It just didn't happen. But it was close. It wasn't it wasn't. I was in the range for it. It just didn't happen. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to think maybe the Angels employee did that because it was a kid. And maybe Trout agreed to it because it was a kid. Sure. So. You can't kick yourself.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Too much, but that is cool. But yeah, overall, when I got that text from you, it's interesting that the Angels were basically just as bad as they were, on that Monday night. So I think they're coming back to Sox Park. I know they are later. Maybe there's a chance then. Yeah,
for sure. I think maybe if I was in position, I maybe could have scraped out a couple guys, but it was kind of like Trout and the coaches, and the coaches ended up going to the front bus anyway. So it is what it is. it was weird to come away from that experience without any autographs, I will say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a miserable day. It was super cold. So, you know who was at that game was Bob Odenkirk. And I was actually I was kind of lingering around just to see if I could maybe get Odenkirk. But I never,
Do you
I never
have
saw
something
him.
for him?
I was just going to get him on a Cubs card. I mean,
Sure.
I don't, they might have Breaking Bad cards, so maybe I should order one. But I was just gonna get him on a Cubs card. But yeah, no such luck. So it is what it is. But yeah, definitely good to get a second game in on the season. Before April.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Mike Trout is hurt again, I think. So I know he got hit in the hand yesterday. I don't know if he's going on the IL. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap up this episode. So we should have another episode for you next week, and then maybe after that another game or two to end April. So that'll be fun. So for this one, I think that's all we got, Jeremy.
We have one game in the on the books to go to, and we'll have to squeeze out a Sox game at some point. Weekdays are rough, but we'll make it happen, and soon summer will be in full swing, and the games will be happening, and the graphing hopefully will be picking up. So but yeah, that'll do it for this episode though. So for Rain Delay Theater, I'm Jeremy Dionisio.
And I'm Jack Swakowski.
We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.